Shake on It by its_Kingston on AO3. Episode 18. Chapter 18. As they stepped directly in front of the board, both quickly looked up to the top of the charts, their focus drifting up as they skimmed through the places, 3 through 10. None of their names were theirs. One of them placed first, the other second. They hastily looked towards the first spot, the top spot. First place, Amity Blight, Luz Noceda. They had tied with a perfect score, and after quickly making sure that their names were in the correct spots and there were no mistakes, they looked back down at each other. So, who won? Luz asked, hoping she'll still have the time and courage to ask Amity out with the current tie. I guess we both did? Amity said with a shrug. You know, we really should have expected something like this. Luz laughed, a smile growing on her face. Amity nodded in agreement, equally as amused with the situation. So, who owes who? Luz asked after a minute, calling attention to the bet. Do we owe each other? Either that or cancel the bet, Amity said back, leaning against the wall behind them. Since it's a tie, we both technically won, Amity pointed out. True, Amity agreed. I haven't put much thought into my side of the bet, so you'll have to give me some time. And what about you? Oh, I haven't either. Luz carefully lied, avoiding the fact that she'd been thinking about it all week. Want to walk around town? Luz suggested. Sounds fun, Amity said back, starting to walk out of the building with Luz beside her. Anywhere you want to go? Luz asked, grabbing her phone to check the time. It's 11 a.m., so we've got the whole day. Amity hummed, as she thought, finally turning to Luz. We could head to the park. Great, Luz responded, shoving her phone into her pocket and grabbing Amity's hand. Let's go. The walk to the park was peaceful. The weather was clear and warm, and no one was outside on a Sunday morning to bother Luz and Amity. The park was mostly open, the occasional tree casting a long shadow across the grass. The pair sat down at the base of the tree, enjoying the cool breeze as they sat in the shade. So, any ideas yet? Luz asked, admiring the bright green leaves that danced in the wind. For the bet? Nope, Amity responded. She sounded further away, like she was in deep thought. Present in the moment, but not there. You okay? Luz gently asked, turning her full attention to her friend. Huh? Yeah, just thinking. Amity gave a warm smile, returning from her thoughts. Luz hummed in acknowledgement, looking back towards the sky. There's something I wanted to show you later. Something cool I found when I was little. When I would hang out in Bonesboro with Eda. Luz said, smiling as she reminisced. Okay, Amity said, intrigued by the something cool. How is it already 1:30 p.m.? We haven't been sitting there for that long, right? Luz asked as she stood up, dusting herself off, handing a hand to Amity too. Time flies, Amity said back. She took Luz's hand and stood up with her. I'm pretty hungry. Do you want lunch too? Definitely, Luz said as they began walking. You pick as long as I don't have to buy. My poor wallet can't take any more of buying lunches. Luz sighed dramatically, getting a playful nudge from Amity in return. You hung out with the twins too much, Amity said, face-palming. Hey, they're pretty cool, but not as fun as hanging out with you, though. Luz said back as she gratefully took Amity's hand. Oh, I saw this new pizza place that's open near the Burger Shack. You want to try it? Amity asked, obviously excited about the new restaurant in the small town. Of course, Luz said, letting Amity drag her to the new place. Oh, this is where the failed taco place used to be, Luz said, recognizing the lot that the pizza place was built on. You mean the one that always served burnt meat and soggy chips? Amity asked, shouldering as she remembered the cold, wet chips. Yeah, Luz said, disturbed as she remembered the hygiene situation in that place. I hope this one is better. Agreed, Amity said as they approached the front door. The sign read open, so they walked into the new restaurant. Hello, and welcome to Lilith's place. A table for two? The man standing beside the door asked. Yeah, Amity said. They were told to follow him as he led them to a booth. They sat down and were handed menus with pictures of delicious-looking pizza on them. This looks great, Lou said, glancing over the menu. What do you think? I think it's a sin that they don't serve cookies. But they have dessert, but no cookies. Outrageous. Amity gushed before sighing. But the pizza looks good. I thought I heard you, Luce. What are you doing in town? A voice called as someone approached the table. Aunt Lilith! Luce exclaimed, standing up to give Ida's sister a hug. What are you doing here? I own this place. It's why it's called Lilith's Pizza. Lilith said back. That's incredible, Aunt Lilith. Luce said back, sounding starstruck. I'm not cool Aunt Lilith anymore. Lilith chuckled. You're double cool now that you run a pizza place, Lou said, shooting finger guns at Lilith. Oh, Amity, this is Lilith, Ida's sister. Luce introduced them to each other. So, what are you doing here, Luce? I don't remember Eda telling me you were coming. Lilith said. It was a last-minute thing. I've been staying with Eda since I got a Hexside. Luce exclaimed, excited to see her academically focused aunt's reaction. Oh, congratulations, Luz. I know you had an eye on that school for a while. I can't believe no one told me. Lilith said back, ruffling Luz's hair. No one told me you were starting up a pizza place, Luz said, throwing her arms up and gesturing to the building. Oh, I didn't tell anyone. It was a below-the-radar type of goal, Lilith explained, smiling as she watched Luz closely listen. I should be in the back helping out. Plus, I don't want to keep you away from your friend. Bye, Aunt Lilith, Luz called before turning back to Amity. Sorry, that was probably boring. No, no, no. That was sweet. I learned something about you, too. I didn't know Hexside was your dream school. Amity said back, a smile on her face. Of course it was. It's one of the best schools in the world, Luz said, spreading her arms out dramatically, causing Amity to giggle. Yeah, that's true. What could I get you both to eat? A waiter interrupted their conversation, causing both of them to scramble for their order. 1 cheese pizza, pepperoni on half. That was good, Luz said as they walked out of Lilith's place. She was carrying the box of leftover slices, along with the meat lover's pizza for Eda. Definitely, I'm still upset about the cookies, though, Amity grumbled. I should drop this pizza off at Eda's, Luz said. Do you want to take the leftovers of ours to your place for the twins? Sure. I need to get home and make sure they haven't burned the house down anyways, Amity said sarcastically, but Luce wasn't sure she was joking. Hey, Luce got Amity's attention before stopping, her words lumping in her throat. I can't ask her out now. It isn't the right time, Luce thought to herself. Meet up at the shack, for the thing I wanted to show you at 6 p.m. Amity checked her watch and pretended to think about her schedule before smiling and agreeing. I'll be there, she said as she grabbed the pizza box for the twins and left, waving over her shoulder for her free hand as she walked away. Jeez, Luce murmured, a smile plastered to her face as she watched Amity leave. She's gonna be the death of me. Hey, Eda, I brought you the pizza, Luce shouted as she entered the shack. Thanks, kiddo, Eda said, coming down the stairs. So, who won? She said, taking the box. We tied for first with a perfect score. Why is Lily on my pizza? Eda interrupted, pointing to the logo on the box. It was a picture of Lilith in a circle. She was giving a thumbs up and smiling. The text around her read, Lilith's place. Sarcastically, the most price efficient. Oh, yeah, Aunt Lilith opened a pizza place, Luce explained. Me and Amity had lunch there. Luce looked dumbfounded. Really? Lily. Oh, we're talking about my sister, Lilith? The one who used to scold me for not having a real job? Opening a pizza place? Eda exclaimed, more shocked than anything. Yeah, Luz said flatly, almost like a question. You should go talk to her about it. I will, Eda said, starting to march out the door. I'm going to congratulate her and then ask her for a sisterly discount, she declared. Wait, Eda, first. Luz stopped her from leaving. Yeah, kid? Eda asked, turning around. I wanted to talk to you about the whole Amity situation. Luz phrased the statement like a question. Eda came back and sat on the couch, patting the spot beside her. Something wrong? Eda asked. Nothing wrong. It's just I'm scared to ruin our friendship. What if she hates me? Luz said. Her voice was crackling, and tears were prickling her eyes. I'm sure she won't, Luz. You two have gotten along since you met. Well, almost. I'm positive this won't ruin your friendship, even if it doesn't go great. Eda replied, patting Luz on the back. How can you be so sure? She could never talk to me again after today. Luz squealed back, on the verge of crying. The feeling of doubt she had, stuffed down, were bubbling up, exploding all over the place at once, dragging every bit of stress out with it. Luz, you have your whole life ahead of you, and if you do this today, who knows? Maybe the Blight kid will be in it. But she certainly won't be if you don't take the leap, kid. Trust me. Eda said firmly. She sounded regretful, like this was the mistake she had made, and one she was adamant about guiding Luz away from. You really think so? Luz asked, rubbing her eyes in an attempt to remove the tears before they came out. I know so. Now, kid, you have a game plan, right? Luz asked, sounding like her sassy self again. Yeah, Luz said, her smile coming back. You need anything? Eda asked, sounding more motherly by the minute. What would I need? Luz asked, cocking her head to the side. Eda sat silent for a minute. Are you going to ask her to get dinner with you? Yeah. Are you going to make her pay? No. Then what are you going to pay with? My money. That I don't have. Luz deadpanned. Exactly, Eda exclaimed. So, do you need money, kid? Yeah, Luz said back, rubbing the back of her neck. Could I borrow some? No need to pay me back, Eda said, pulling out her wallet, out of her hair, and getting a startled expression from Luz. Why do you keep it in there? Luz asked, trying to see if she could spot anything else. It'd be faster to list why it's not in here, Eda responded, pulling a crisp ball from her wallet. Here, kid. Luz gracefully accepted the money, saying thank you at least 40 times. Don't you have to get dressed or something? Eda asked, probably annoyed by the sheer amount of thank you she'd heard in the past minute. Oh, yeah, thank you again, Eda, Luz said as she ran up the stairs. Seriously, stop thanking me, Eda murmured as she turned the TV on. What to wear? I didn't tell Amity to dress nicely, so it would be weird if I did. It's not a formal event or anything, is it? No, it's not. Do I just normally? Can I wear my pajamas? Is that normal? Luz murmured as she paced the floor, stopping occasionally to look at her choices again. Oh no, Luz said, seeing her phone screen lit up. It's already 5:45 p.m.? How? On her screen was a text from Amity. Rich Chick 128. I'll be a little early. Ed and Em were too annoying to stand anymore, so I left. Lazora. Okay, text when you're here. While her message sounded calm, Luz was anything but. Okay, I should just wear my normal clothes since Amity will be wearing hers too. Luz decided, grabbing her phone and running to the bathroom to take a shower. Rich Chick 128. I'm here. Lazura. I'll be a minute, but I'll ask Eda to let you in. Rich Chick 128. Okay. Hey, Eda, could you let Amity in? I'm getting dressed. Luz called from the bathroom. She heard the door open, and an awkward small talk filled the house, so she assumed Eda heard her. "Hey, Amity," Luz called as she ran down the stairs, skipping 2 at a time. "Hey," Amity said back, smiling as she saw Luz come happily down from the stairs. What I wanted to show you is kind of on a time limit, so we should start walking," Luz asked, putting on her jacket and zipping it up. "Sure," Amity said, stepping outside, as Luz followed her, lead the way. "Not to doubt your knowledge of the area you grew up in, but are you sure this is right?" Amity asked, as Luz pulled her deeper into the woods, behind Eda's house. "Yeah," Luz said, dodging between trees like she had done so many times before. "I would never get lost going here," she declared, stopping the small clearing. Amity looked around, seeing nothing out of the ordinary. "What is it?" she asked skeptically. "This," Luz said, walking up to a tree. She reached up and grabbed the branch, pulling herself onto it. Soon, she reached the top of the tree, Amity nervously watching the whole time. "Be careful," Amity called up, unsure of what was happening. "I've done this for 10 years and only fallen twice," Luz boasted, her voice almost completely faded from the distance. "Please don't make it a third," Amity mumbled, no longer able to see Luz. Suddenly Luz yelled something, causing Amity to jump backwards. A moment later, a rope fell from in front of her, and Luz poked her head out from the top. "It didn't hit you, right?" Luz asked worriedly. "You almost did," Amity said, the conversation returning to a normal level as she got closer to the top. Luz grabbed Amity's hand and pulled her up as she reached the top. "Here we are, the castle," Luz declared, gesturing around the old treehouse. While spacious, the room was dusty, a sign that no one was been up here for months. "I used to come up here all the time when I was little. I read Azura books up here and fed the squirrels," Luz said, laughing. "This is nice. It's quiet here, too," Amity said, happy to see Luz smiling so brightly. "It is pretty peaceful, except for that time I fell through the floor," Luz said, pointing to an obvious, newer floorboard. "Oh, don't worry though. Me and Eda reinforced them after that. There's another layer underneath the floor." "So, did you bring me to tell me about all the times you almost died?" Amity said sarcastically. No, no, well, kinda. I like seeing the reactions from the story, but that's not the main reason," Luce assured her before pointing out to the window that sets the sun in a perfect through the wooden hole, causing the inside of the treehouse to glow a faded orange. "Beautiful," Amity said, looking more at Luce than the sunset. They watched the glow change, turning from the bright orange to a crimson red, and eventually deep purple as the sun disappeared behind the hills. The moonlight shone into the window, taking the place of the sunlight as the stars glimmered in the night sky. "I couldn't decide which I liked more, the sky or the sunset," Lou said, turning to Amity. "So, just as cool as they promised?" "Definitely," Amity said, her eyes shimmering as she reflected the star's glow. Luce felt the words swell up and rise from her heart to her throat as she looked at Amity. Luce didn't have to think of the words. They poured out as she thought of the memories, the strong sense of safety Luce felt when Amity was around, the indescribable feeling of warmth and comfort that came when they held hands, the pure happiness that sprouted from their rivalry, which eventually turned into movies, watching, and cuddling. How Luce felt as if she might explode just from being kissed on the cheek. Everything she had ever said or done had held up to this moment, where Luce would say it. "Hey, Blight." Emily looked over. "I like you. More than friends." Luce paused, time seeming to slow as a nervous grin made its way onto her face. "Would you go on a date with me?" The answer couldn't seem to come fast enough, as Amity quickly wrapped Luce in a hug. "Yes, of course." Okay, alright. The next one is a bonus chapter. Chapter 19 bonus chapter, and it is, I'm not gonna read anything of it, so, but it is gonna be as long as this one. Probably a minute or two longer. Maybe 3. I'm gonna predict that it's gonna be 20 minutes long. No, 21 minutes long. 21. 21. Is this where the Ed/Hunter and M/Viney or whatever her name is thing is gonna pop up? Because I just realized it never popped up. Anyways, Kingston, thank you very much for letting me podfic this, and expect a nice comment about wanting to revamp this series as well. Yeah, expect that, because it's coming. I will ask, and it will be something that I ask. I'm gonna ask, because I'm gonna ask. Obviously, I'm going by order of whoever answered first. So, yeah. Anyways, that hurt my leg. Okay, sorry. I really hurt my leg right there. But I really enjoyed all of this. This was so fun. I really enjoyed every second of this. I cannot wait for the last chapter, and I'm sad for the last chapter. But, in case you, let me check. I don't think you have finished, but let me check, okay? Subscriptions, and then here's Kingston. Shit. Here's Kingston. Sorry. Here's Kingston. Works. The means to an end. It is still not done yet. It is 6 chapters in, for 7. And, I don't think it's gonna finish by the time that I'm done with this, because you would need to finish it in 2 days, and I don't expect that to happen. Or technically for you, it would be 1 day. Actually, no. No, yeah. So instead, I'm going to podfic some others. So I'm going to podfic some of your one-shots. So I'm going to go from top to bottom, right? So Izuku's Kahoot, Expert, PowerPoint, Master, and Problem Child by It's Kingston. For Raccoons and Chaos, it's probably going to be the next one that I podfic. I'm obviously going to ask you. Duh. And then after that, we're going to do Evil Demon Doppelganger. That one's pretty short, so that one's gonna be super short. How long would that one be? Hold up. Okay, so it's roughly like 13, 15 minutes. So that one's short, but it's not like super, super short, right? And then Jin's Pizza, that one's probably gonna be cut into 2. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be cut into 2. So there's some of these that I'm going to be able to cut into 2. Like, for example, the Izuku one. There is no way I'm not cutting that into at least 3. Yeah, there's at least 3. Yeah, it's going to be cut into 3. Right? And then, Jin's Pizza, it's going to be cut into 2. The Observation of One Conspiracy Nut. Yeah, this one's probably also going to be cut into 3s. Actually, yeah, into 3. Pretend Play is probably gonna be just 1 whole. Yeah, it's gonna be probably 1 whole. It's 2, yeah. Double Entree is probably also just gonna be 1. Yeah, it's just gonna be 1. Yeah, it's just gonna be 1. And then as for Mario Kart Academia, that's probably gonna be 10K. That's 4 parts. Yeah, 4 parts. Yeah, 4 parts. A Knife, Are You Flirting With Me is probably gonna be 2 parts. 2 parts. And then Stealth Operation is probably gonna be 3. Hello Little Hunter is probably gonna be 3 as well. I'm gonna skip the Wednesday shots. And then Lumity one-shots, I'm gonna probably do that all together. Yeah, probably all together. And it's probably gonna be, I don't know, it's, what, 5 chapters? I'm probably gonna do it by, shit, if I do it by chapters, that shit's so short. I'll do it by chapters, just for the funny bit. 30 days, same thing. No, wait, hold up. No, not same thing. Hold up. That makes no sense. Right. Or I could go from bottom to the top. That would give me 5 chapters. Like, I could... Oh, that would be really easy to get 5 chapters out and about in, like, 1 day. And then be so far ahead for the 2 p.m. slot. I'll have to think about it. Edit. As of July 23rd, 2024, this fic has a podfix courtesy of Echo Rainstorm. That is so sweet. I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you did that. It's so sweet. That is so sweet. I didn't know you did that. I don't know why I've never noticed that you did that. It's so sweet. Is it just in that one? Yeah, I think it's just in that one. Hold up, these are one-shots that I haven't even done. Oh my god, yeah. This fic has a podfic courtesy of... Okay. You do that. I don't know why I never noticed that. I guess I just don't read the summaries afterwards. Okay, anyways, that's it for now. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.